Hello, my friends. Dr. Mandell here. If you are over 60, there's something I want you to hear loud and clear. Muscle loss is not just part of aging. It's a warning sign that your body is running low on the building blocks it needs. And the truth is, without the right nutrition, your muscles can shrink, your strength can fade, and simple daily tasks can start to feel harder and harder. But here's the good news. Building muscle after 60 is not only possible, it can happen faster than you think. If you fuel your body with the right proteins, and no, I'm not talking about expensive supplements or fancy powders. I'm talking about 7 simple, affordable, high-protein foods you can pick up at your local store, foods that can help restore your strength, keep your bones sturdy, and give you the energy to enjoy life to its fullest. Let me share something with you that can change the way you see your health and your body after 60. For so many years, we've been told as you get older, you just have to accept muscle loss. It's part of aging. That statement is one of the most dangerous myths we've ever been fed. The truth is, muscle loss after 60 is not an unchangeable fate. It's a condition, a challenge, and yes, an opportunity to take back control. Here's what really happens. Around the age of 30, most people begin to lose a small percentage of muscle mass each year. That rate speeds up after 60. Doctors call this sarcopenia. But just because it's common does not mean it's normal. You see, your body has an amazing ability to adapt. It's constantly breaking down old tissue and building new tissue. Your muscles are like construction sites. Workers are taking down old materials while new materials are brought in to rebuild. The problem is, as we age, the building crew gets smaller, and the materials, in this case protein and other nutrients, aren't always delivered in the amounts needed. This is where the power of choice comes in. You don't have to watch your muscles fade away. You can give your body the raw materials it needs to rebuild. High quality protein, essential amino acids, vitamins, and minerals. And you can stimulate your muscles to grow stronger through activity, even if you've never worked out a day in your life. Let's take a closer look at why preventing muscle loss is so important. Your muscles aren't just there to make you look strong. They're your engines. They help you get out of bed, carry groceries, climb stairs, and even stand upright. They protect your joints, stabilize your spine, and give you balance so you don't fall. Weak muscles mean slower walking, less stamina, and a higher risk of injuries. But strong muscles, they mean independence, freedom, and confidence. They mean you can keep up with your grandchildren, travel without fear, and keep doing the activities you love. When you're over 60, your body doesn't process protein the same way it did in your 20s. This is called anabolic resistance. It simply means you need more protein per meal to trigger the same muscle building response. So if you're only eating a little bit of protein here and there, your muscles might not be getting enough to maintain themselves, let alone grow. That's why adding affordable, protein-rich foods into every meal is so important. And no, you don't need expensive shakes or powders. You can find what you need at your regular grocery store. Now let me make something clear. Protein by itself will not magically turn into muscle while you're sitting on the couch. Think of protein like bricks for a building. If the construction crew isn't working, the bricks will just pile up in the yard. The crew in this case is your activity, specifically resistance training or muscle engagement. This could be bodyweight squats while holding onto a chair, lifting light dumbbells using resistance bands, or even doing push-ups against the wall. Every time you work your muscles, you're sending a signal. We need to be stronger. That signal tells your body to take the protein you've eaten and put it to work building muscle fibers. And here's the beauty of it. It's never too late to start. I've seen people in their 70s and even 80s rebuild muscle, improve their posture, and gain energy they thought was gone forever. It's not about becoming a bodybuilder. It's about preserving the strength that lets you live life on your own terms. Many seniors think, I'm too old, or I don't have the energy to exercise, but in reality, the lack of energy often comes from the loss of muscle itself. When you rebuild your muscle, you rebuild your metabolism. Your body burns more calories at rest, your blood sugar stays more stable, and your hormone balance improves. You feel more awake, more alive. That's why I tell people, don't wait until you feel strong to start. Start now so you can feel strong again. Another point I want to emphasize is that preventing muscle loss isn't just about physical strength, it's about protecting your overall health. Weak muscles mean your body struggles more with everyday tasks, but they also impact your immune system, your heart health, and even your brain function. Strong muscles help regulate blood pressure, support healthy blood sugar levels, and keep your bones dense and resilient. If you've ever noticed that someone who loses a lot of muscle starts to look frail, their shoulders slumping forward, their steps becoming smaller, that's not just an appearance issue, it's a chain reaction in the body. Loss of muscle mass leads to loss of mobility. Loss of mobility leads to less movement. Less movement leads to even more muscle loss. It's a downward spiral, but you can flip that spiral upward. Regain a little muscle, you move more. Move more. You gain even more muscle. Each step makes the next one easier. So here's my message to you, my friend. Don't let the calendar decide your strength. Don't let the number 60, 70, or 80 make you believe you're too far gone. The science is clear. Your body can still respond, still grow, still strengthen at any age, but you have to give it the tools it needs. That means making protein a priority every single day. It means challenging your muscles in small, safe, consistent ways. And it means believing that you have the power to change your body starting today. I've met countless people who told me, Dr. Mandell, I wish I had started sooner. And you know what I tell them? The best time to start was yesterday. The second best time is today. Every bite of nourishing protein you eat, every rep of exercise you do is an investment in your independence, your energy, and your joy for years to come. So let's throw that old myth in the trash where it belongs. Muscle loss is not an unavoidable part of aging. It's a challenge you can face and win with the right food, the right movement, and the right mindset. Your body is waiting for you to give it the signal to rebuild. And the moment you do, you'll be amazed at how quickly it responds. Stay strong, my friends. Keep moving forward. One meal, one step, one day at a time. And never forget, your age does not define your strength. I want to talk to you today about something that is both incredibly simple and incredibly powerful. The right foods. Not just any foods, but 7 of the most affordable high protein sources you can put on your plate. I'm talking about everyday foods that you can find in any grocery store, foods that don't require a fancy budget, special ordering, or complicated recipes. These are the tools that will help you build muscle, preserve your independence, and keep your body strong long after the age of 60. Now, when we think about building muscle, most people imagine athletes, gym goers, or bodybuilders. But let me tell you, the human body's need for protein doesn't vanish when we hit our 60s, 70s, or beyond. In fact, it becomes even more important. As we age, our bodies become less efficient at processing and using protein for muscle growth. That means we have to be more deliberate about getting enough protein in every single day. And no, that doesn't mean you have to buy expensive shakes or exotic powders. It means you need to know which simple, affordable foods give you the most muscle building power for your money. Let's start with eggs. Eggs are nature's little protein package. One egg gives you about 6 grams of high quality, complete protein, meaning it contains all the essential amino acids your body can't make on its own. They also have vitamins, minerals, and healthy fats that support muscle repair, brain function, energy. And let's be honest, eggs are one of the most versatile foods out there. Scrambled, boiled, poached, or even made into an omelet with veggies. You can prepare them in minutes, and they're gentle on the wallet. People used to fear eggs because of cholesterol, but research now shows that moderate egg consumption is safe for most healthy individuals and can actually be part of a heart-healthy diet. Next up, lentils. My friends, if you've never made lentils a regular part of your diet, you're missing out. Lentils are a plant-based protein powerhouse, delivering about 18 grams of protein in just 1 cooked cup. They're also loaded with fiber, which helps with digestion, stabilizes blood sugar, and keeps you feeling full for longer. For seniors, this is a big win because stable blood sugar means steady energy, and steady energy means more movement and activity. You can buy a bag of lentils for just a few dollars, and it will last you many meals. Add them to soups, stews, or salads, and you'll be nourishing your muscles without straining your budget. Then we have canned tuna or salmon. This is one of my favorite recommendations because it's so convenient. Just pop open a can, drain it, and you've got over 20 grams of protein ready to eat. No cooking, no fuss. If you choose salmon, you also get a healthy dose of omega-3 fatty acids, those anti-inflammatory fats that keep your joints flexible, your heart healthy, and your brain sharp. Tuna is usually the more budget-friendly option, and you can mix it with a little Greek yogurt or mustard instead of heavy mayonnaise for a protein-packed meal. Speaking of Greek yogurt, this is another champion in the protein world. Compared to regular yogurt, Greek yogurt has nearly double the protein. A single cup can give you around 20 grams depending on the brand. It's also rich in calcium, which is critical for bone health, and probiotics, which help keep your gut healthy so you can absorb nutrients more effectively. And don't forget, a healthy gut means a stronger immune system, better digestion, and even better mood regulation. Greek yogurt can be enjoyed on its own, mixed with fruit, or blended into smoothies for a refreshing protein-rich snack. Now let's talk about cottage cheese. Yes, this old-fashioned favorite is still one of the best muscle-building foods you can eat. Cottage cheese contains casein protein, which digests slowly and provides a steady supply of amino acids to your muscles over several hours. This makes it a perfect evening snack before bed to help prevent overnight muscle breakdown. A half-cup serving has about 14 grams of protein, and you can pair it with berries, sliced peaches, or even a sprinkle of cinnamon for flavor. It's inexpensive, satisfying, and incredibly effective at supporting muscle recovery. Peanut butter is another budget-friendly winner. It's not just tasty, it's loaded with plant-based protein and healthy fats that fuel your body and keep you feeling satisfied. 2 tablespoons give you about 8 grams of protein, and when you spread it on whole grain bread or pair it with apple slices, you're getting a snack that supports muscle growth and steady energy. The healthy fats in peanut butter also support hormone production, including the hormones that help your body build and maintain muscle. Just be mindful of portion sizes because peanut butter is calorie dense. A little goes a long way. Finally, we have chickpeas, also known as garbanzo beans. These are another plant-based protein gem, giving you around 14 grams of protein per cooked cup. They're packed with fiber, magnesium, and iron, which support muscle function and energy production. Chickpeas are incredibly versatile. Toss them in salads, blend them into hummus, or roast them with spices for a crunchy, satisfying snack. And like lentils, they're inexpensive and have a long shelf life, making them perfect for keeping in your pantry. Now, my friends, here's the real power behind these 7 foods. They're accessible to almost everyone. You don't have to spend a fortune to get enough protein. You don't have to learn complicated recipes, and you don't have to change your entire lifestyle overnight. What you do need to do is make a conscious choice to include these foods in your meals every single day. That could mean having eggs for breakfast, Greek yogurt as a mid-morning snack, lentil soup for lunch, tuna or salmon for dinner, and cottage cheese before bed. Or it could mean mixing them into your favorite recipes so you barely notice the change, but your body will. Another thing to remember is variety. Your muscles need different amino acids, vitamins, and minerals to grow and repair. By rotating these 7 foods throughout the week, you're making sure your body gets a full spectrum of nutrients. This also keeps your meals interesting so you don't get bored and slip back into old habits. And let's not forget, pairing these foods with regular muscle activity will multiply the benefits. Think of these foods as the building blocks and your exercise as the blueprint and workers putting everything together. Without the building blocks, nothing gets built. Without the workers, the materials just sit there. You need both for real progress. So the next time you're at the grocery store, remember, you don't have to walk down the expensive supplement aisle to build muscle after 60. Just head to the sections with eggs, beans, dairy, and canned fish. Load your cart with these affordable, high-protein foods and know that every dollar you spend on them is an investment in your strength, mobility, and independence. The bottom line, my friends, is this: these 7 simple, affordable, high-protein foods can be your best allies in the fight against muscle loss. They're easy to find, easy to prepare, and easy on your budget, but their impact on your health, energy, and quality of life can be absolutely life-changing. Start adding them to your meals today and watch how your body responds. You'll feel stronger, more energetic, and more capable, not just in the gym, but in everyday life. And that's what this is all about, living with strength, confidence, and freedom, no matter your age. My friends, I want you to really hear this because it's one of the biggest mistakes people over 60 make when they're trying to get stronger. Eating protein alone is not enough. You could be eating the perfect diet filled with eggs, fish, lentils, yogurt, all the foods we've talked about, but if you're not moving your muscles, your body simply will not use that protein to build strength. Let me give you a simple picture. Imagine a pile of bricks sitting in your backyard. Those bricks are your protein. They're strong, solid, and ready to be turned into something amazing. But without a builder, without a plan, without anyone stacking them, what happens? They just sit there. Over time, they gather dust, they get weathered, and they never fulfill their purpose. That's exactly what happens to protein in your body when you don't give your muscles a reason to use it. Your body is smart. It's efficient. It's always trying to conserve energy. If your muscles aren't being challenged, your body thinks, well, I guess we don't need these extra muscle fibers. Let's break them down and use the energy somewhere else. And unfortunately, after 60, this process happens faster, which is why it's even more important to send your body the message every single day that your muscles are needed. So how do you send that message? You move them. You challenge them. You make them work a little harder than they did yesterday. That doesn't mean you have to join a gym or lift heavy weights like a power lifter. It means finding ways to engage your muscles against resistance. That resistance could come from your own body weight, from resistance bands, from water in a pool, from light dumbbells, or even from household objects like a heavy book or a filled water jug. The key is consistency. If you challenge your muscles once every 2 weeks, it's like sending your builder a text once in a while saying, hey, maybe start building that wall someday. But if you work your muscles several times a week, you're shouting loud and clear, we need more strength. Keep building and your body listens. Science has a term for this process. It's called muscle protein synthesis. When you lift, push, pull, or otherwise work your muscles, you create tiny microscopic tears in the muscle fibers. Don't worry, this is a good thing. Your body rushes in to repair those tears, and in the process it adds more muscle fibers, making the muscle thicker and stronger than before. But here's the catch. Without that activity, muscle protein synthesis stays low no matter how much protein you eat. Now here's something that surprises a lot of people. The best results come when you pair resistance exercise with protein in the same window of time. In other words, if you eat a protein-rich meal after you've challenged your muscles, your body is primed to use that protein for growth and repair. Think about it. You've just told your body we need more muscle, and then you hand it the exact materials it needs to build that muscle. That's the perfect 1-2 punch. Let's say you do a short resistance workout in the morning, maybe 15 minutes of squats, wall push-ups, and band pulls. Then you follow it up with a breakfast of eggs and Greek yogurt. You just created the ideal environment for your body to get stronger. And this doesn't just happen in young people. Research shows that seniors respond incredibly well to this combination of movement and nutrition, often seeing strength improvements within weeks. Some of you might be thinking, but Dr. Mandell, my joints ache, my knees aren't what they used to be. I can't do heavy exercises. I hear you. And I want you to know there's always a way to move that works for your body. If you can't squat deeply, do partial squats while holding on to a chair. If you can't do traditional push-ups, do them against the wall or the countertop. If you can't lift heavy weights, start with soup cans or a resistance band. Movement doesn't have to be intense to be effective. It just has to be consistent and progressive. And here's something else to think about. Resistance training is not just about building muscle, it's about keeping your nervous system sharp. Every time you perform a movement, your brain and muscles are communicating, strengthening those pathways. This means better balance, faster reaction times, and a reduced risk of falls. For older adults, this can literally be life-saving. I also want to address the fear of starting too late. I've worked with people in their 70s, 80s, even 90s who began resistance training for the first time in their lives, and they still gained strength, improved their posture, and felt more energetic. Your body has an incredible ability to adapt at any age. The sooner you start, the sooner you'll feel the benefits. Now let's talk about the connection between muscle activity and everyday life. When you build muscle, you make daily tasks easier. Carrying groceries, climbing stairs, bending down to tie your shoes, all of these require strength. Without enough muscle, these tasks can feel exhausting or even impossible. But when you keep your muscles engaged and fed with the right nutrition, these same tasks start to feel effortless again. That's not just physical strength, that's independence. Another benefit that people don't always consider is metabolism. Muscle tissue is active tissue. The more muscle you have, the more calories you burn even at rest. This means better weight management, better blood sugar control, and a lower risk of conditions like diabetes and heart disease. So by pairing protein with muscle activity, you're not just building strength, you're building a healthier, more resilient body from the inside out. So here's my challenge for you, my friends. Starting today, I want you to think of every protein-rich meal as a building material and every muscle movement as the builder putting those materials to work. If you eat protein but don't move, you're wasting those materials. If you move but don't eat enough protein, the builder is working without supplies. You need both. Start small if you have to. 2 or 3 short sessions a week can make a difference. Gradually increase the challenge, add a few more repetitions, hold the position a little longer, use a slightly heavier weight, and always follow your movement with good, clean protein. That's the formula for success, whether you're 25 or 85. Remember this, you are not too old, you're not too weak, and it is not too late. Your muscles are waiting for the signal to grow, and every time you move with purpose, you send that signal loud and clear. Combine that with the right foods, and you'll be amazed at how strong, capable, and alive you can feel. Stay consistent, stay patient, and most of all, stay committed to yourself, because every step you take, every rep you do, and every bite of nourishing protein you eat is a vote for your health, your independence, and your future. I want to share something that can give you so much peace of mind. You don't need to spend a fortune to get healthy, strong, and build muscle after 60. Somewhere along the way, the health and fitness industry made many people believe that without expensive supplements, premium powders, or exotic superfoods, you simply can't make progress. That is not true. In fact, some of the most effective muscle-building foods are sitting right in your local grocery store at a fraction of the cost of those trendy items. You see, the key is not in how much money you spend, but in how smart you are with your choices. Your body doesn't care about flashy labels or celebrity endorsements. Your muscles don't know if the protein came from a $50 tub of powder or from a carton of eggs you bought for a few dollars. What your body cares about is the quality of the nutrients you feed it, the amount you give it, and whether you're consistent day after day. That's why I love to remind people the path to strength and health after 60 can be built on simple, budget-friendly foods. Foods like eggs, lentils, canned tuna, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, peanut butter, and chickpeas. They may not come in fancy packaging, but they deliver exactly what your muscles need. High-quality protein, essential amino acids, and a variety of vitamins and minerals that keep your body functioning at its best. Let's be honest, many seniors are on fixed incomes. The idea of spending hundreds of dollars each month on supplements or specialty items just isn't realistic. And here's the beauty of it, you don't have to. You can create a week's worth of muscle supporting meals without draining your wallet. For example, a dozen eggs can provide high quality protein for multiple breakfasts, snacks, or even dinners. A large tub of Greek yogurt can be divided into several servings, giving you calcium, probiotics, and protein for pennies per gram. A bag of lentils costs very little, yet it's enough to feed you protein-packed meals for days. Canned tuna or salmon, not only are they affordable, they're shelf-stable, meaning you can keep them on hand for quick, no-cook meals. Cottage cheese is another cost-effective option that can easily be turned into a sweet or savory snack. Peanut butter, while calorie-dense, offers an inexpensive source of plant-based protein and healthy fats. And chickpeas, you can buy them canned or dry, and either way, they're inexpensive, versatile, and filling. The real power of these affordable foods is accessibility. They're not locked behind a subscription, they're not shipped from halfway around the world, and they don't require hours of preparation. You can buy them at any supermarket, often on sale, and you can store many of them for weeks or months. That means you're more likely to keep eating them regularly, and consistency is what builds strength. Now I want to address something I hear a lot, but Dr. Mandell, aren't more expensive proteins better quality? The answer is not necessarily. Many high-priced items are simply marketed well. A scoop of protein powder can be useful, yes, but it's not inherently better than a serving of Greek yogurt or a couple of eggs. In fact, whole foods often contain additional nutrients that powders simply can't match. Things like fiber, healthy fats, antioxidants, and natural vitamins. Whole foods also help you feel fuller and more satisfied, which makes it easier to stick to your plan. And here's another truth. Building muscle doesn't require huge quantities of food. It requires the right quantities of the right food spread throughout your day. That means making small but powerful changes, like replacing a sugary snack with Greek yogurt, swapping out white bread for whole grain bread with peanut butter, or adding lentils to your soup instead of pasta. These little changes cost very little, but over time they can transform your muscle mass, your energy, and your overall health. I've seen people waste money on expensive protein bars that contain more sugar than a candy bar. I've seen people buy fancy pre-made shakes when they could have blended up something better at home for half the cost. This is why I tell you, don't get caught up in the hype. The simplest foods, the ones your grandparents ate, are often the most nourishing for your muscles and your wallet. Think about this. When you choose affordable high-protein foods, you free up resources for other important areas of your health. Maybe that means you can afford fresh vegetables and fruits, or perhaps it allows you to see a physical therapist or join a community fitness class. Health is about balance, and smart budgeting is part of that balance. Another benefit of using affordable, accessible foods is that they encourage home cooking. When you prepare your own meals, you have full control over what goes into your body. You can season your eggs with herbs instead of salt-heavy sauces. You can make a lentil stew loaded with vegetables instead of buying a processed sodium-packed can. You can turn canned salmon into a fresh salad with leafy greens, olive oil, and lemon. Not only will you be saving money, but you'll be nourishing your body in the most natural way possible. And here's something important for my friends over 60. Cooking your own meals is also a form of movement and mental stimulation. Chopping vegetables, stirring pots, preparing ingredients. These are gentle physical activities that keep your joints moving and your mind engaged. Plus, there's a deep satisfaction in knowing that you've created a meal that fuels your strength and health. I want to remind you, your journey to muscle building doesn't have to look like anyone else's. You don't have to copy the diet of a bodybuilder on Instagram or buy the exact brand someone else promotes. What you need is a set of simple, reliable foods you can afford, enjoy, and prepare with ease. That's what will keep you consistent, and consistency is the secret ingredient to lasting results. When you commit to affordable, high-protein foods, you're also setting an example for your friends, your children, and even your grandchildren. You're showing them that health doesn't have to be complicated or expensive. You're proving that strength after 60 is possible with the resources you have right now, and that's powerful. So my friend, here's what I encourage you to do. Next time you're in the grocery store, take a walk past the flashy health products and supplements. Head instead to the dairy section for eggs, Greek yogurt, and cottage cheese. Visit the canned goods aisle for tuna, salmon, and chickpeas. Pick up a bag of lentils, grab a jar of peanut butter, build your cart with foods that will build you. And remember, every dollar you spend on these nourishing, muscle-friendly foods is an investment in your independence, mobility, and vitality for years to come. You don't need fancy, you don't need expensive, you just need the right foods, the right movement, and the right mindset. That's how you win this battle against muscle loss, and you can start today right in your own kitchen. My friends, I want to leave you with one of the most important truths you will ever hear about your health. Building and keeping muscle after 60 is not just about looking fit. It's about protecting your independence and preserving the quality of your life. When you're younger, you don't always think about what it takes to get up out of a chair, to carry groceries, to climb stairs, or even to walk across the room without fear of falling. You take those abilities for granted. But as the years go by, if you don't actively work to maintain your strength, those simple tasks can start to feel harder. One day you realize you're holding on to the railing a little tighter, leaning on the counter a little longer, or hesitating before taking that first step. That's muscle loss talking. Muscle isn't just for athletes or bodybuilders. It's your body's foundation. Your muscles stabilize your joints, protect your bones, and give you balance and coordination. They help you react quickly if you trip. They allow you to lift your grandchildren, take the laundry up the stairs, and stay active in the hobbies you love. Without enough muscle, you start relying more on others, and that loss of independence can feel devastating. The good news is that it doesn't have to be this way. You can turn the clock back on muscle loss. You can restore strength, power, and stability at any age, 60, 70, 80, even 90. I've seen it with my own eyes, and science proves it. When you combine the right nutrition, rich in high-quality protein, with consistent muscle-activating movement, your body responds. Your muscles adapt, your strength returns. And with that strength comes something just as valuable, confidence. Let me tell you why confidence matters so much here. When you're strong, you move through the world differently. You walk with a steadier step. You stand taller. You stop avoiding activities because of fear. You say yes more to trips, to social gatherings, to playing with your grandkids. You feel capable again, and that feeling is priceless. On the flip side, when you allow your muscles to weaken, everything starts to shrink. Not just your strength, but your world. Weak muscles lead to poor balance. Poor balance leads to fewer outings because you're afraid of falling. That reduced activity leads to even more muscle loss, and before you know it, you're caught in a downward spiral. I've seen too many people enter that cycle, and I'm here to tell you, you have the power to break it before it begins, or reverse it if you're already there. Think of muscle as a bank account. Every bit of strength you build and maintain is a deposit that you can draw from later. Life will make withdrawals. Maybe you'll get sick. Maybe you'll have surgery. Maybe you'll have a period of low activity. But if you've built up a strong muscle savings account, you can afford those setbacks without losing your independence. Without that reserve, even a short illness or injury can rob you of the strength to take care of yourself. That's why this isn't about vanity. It's about survival, dignity, and freedom. It's about being able to live life on your own terms for as long as possible. Now, I know some people hear this and think, but Dr. Mandell, I'm too old to make a difference. That is simply not true. The human body is incredibly adaptable. Even in your later years, when you start challenging your muscles and feeding them the right nutrition, they respond. In just a few weeks, you can see measurable changes, more stamina, better posture, easier movements. Over months, those changes compound. Suddenly you're carrying bags without strain. You're walking faster. You're climbing stairs without stopping halfway to catch your breath. And here's something powerful to understand. When you strengthen your muscles, you also protect your bones. Weight-bearing exercise and resistance training stimulate your bones to grow stronger and denser. That means a lower risk of fractures, which are one of the leading causes of loss of independence in seniors. A fall that might break a bone in someone with weak muscles and brittle bones could be nothing more than a stumble for someone who's built their strength. I want you to picture your future self for a moment. 10 years from now, do you want to be someone who needs help getting out of a chair, who avoids leaving the house because of weakness or fear of falling? Or do you want to be someone who moves confidently, who travels, who plays with great-grandchildren, who lives fully and freely? The choices you make today, the foods you eat, the movements you do, the care you give your body, decide which future you step into. This is why I stress affordable, high-protein foods so much. They are the building blocks of your independence. Every egg you eat, every serving of Greek yogurt, every bowl of lentils, every spoonful of peanut butter, they are all investments in your ability to keep doing the things you love. Combined with even simple resistance movements a few times a week, they can transform your body and your life. And here's something I don't want you to miss. Preserving independence isn't just about the body, it's about the mind. When you're strong and capable, your mental health improves, you feel proud of what you can do, you feel hope for the future, you feel in control of your life. That mental strength fuels your physical strength, creating a cycle of positivity that keeps you going. I've seen people who were told they'd never be able to walk without a cane again, go on to ditch the cane entirely after months of focused muscle building. I've seen people who couldn't lift a grocery bag start helping their neighbors carry theirs. I've seen people who were afraid to walk to the mailbox start going for daily walks around the block. None of them got there overnight, but they all started and they all kept going. And that's the secret, my friends. It's not about perfection, it's about persistence. You don't have to train for hours a day. You don't have to overhaul your diet in 1 week. You just have to start making small, smart choices every day consistently. Each choice adds up. Each choice builds strength. Each choice gets you closer to the life you want to live. So I want you to promise yourself something today. Promise yourself that you will not let your muscles fade without a fight. Promise yourself that you will give your body the fuel it needs and the movement it craves. Promise yourself that you will protect your independence like it's the most valuable thing you own, because it is. Stay strong, stay consistent, and never forget every step you take, every rep you do, every healthy meal you eat is a step toward freedom, dignity, and the joy of living life on your own terms. You've got this, my friend, and I'm here to remind you it's never too late to get stronger. Never.